So I'm less and less into the media creation than why lately, but I've still been creating media. So I've been filming, I just haven't been editing. And I said I was going to do more of this organic material. So I'm just posting to social media, other places like Facebook, and not making. It doesn't have to be serious content all the time. Just something quick, painless, and organic like this. And for the first time in my boring life, I'm not just sitting here training dogs and kind of thinking about how I'm going to incorporate that or working with plants, which is a slow burn. I can't do anything about it because it takes time to grow a plant and film it and edit the video, and neither here nor there. That stuff is going to be important later anyway. Right now, I am just forging molds for the future, so to speak. But I was outside with the dogs and I was cleaning up their poop and trying to watch over them when my dogs go crazy, and I noticed a truck driving down the street and a dog running in front of it. And it was an unusual picture to begin with, but as I analyze the situation and process what's happening, I realize this truck is chasing down this dog, which I assume is because they own the dog. And I hear them on the phone. So they're driving and talking on the phone. They're flying down this major highway while kind of, telling somebody else where the dog is. Neither here nor there. First of all, as somebody who's doing this professionally, I am a trainer with experience. I have worked with other trainers with experience, reliable trainers, and I have proven myself on multiple occasions. I've had real training, and I don't know anyone that would tell you any different. You do not chase an animal. It's not even just dogs. You don't chase. You lure. You should have a treat in hand, luring. And somewhere in my mind, it feels like common sense that if you are one of these Yorkie Terrier mixes that everybody gets, excuse me, you're one of these people that gets these Yorkie Terrier mixes because they're easy. They are easy to train, but they're high energy. They're small. They're high energy. They're not going to eat the same food as other dogs. Typically, people get big. You're going to be getting specialized food for a lot of these small breeds, or you're going to be looking for small breed foods. And most people aren't even going to do that much. And that's just if you're feeding them kibble, not. But imagine you're this small dog that just nobody pays attention to, because that's what it is. A trained dog doesn't run out the door. And an untrained dog isn't being paid attention to, right? Like, I can assume that. And if you didn't want somebody to assume that, especially a trained professional, you should have been doing better. It's that simple. It's not a fucking Xbox. It's a dog. It's not much different than the human child. And everybody's in defense of the children, but they say they are the dog, but it's different. It's always just a dog. But when it's just a kid, to me, a single male who does watch out for his nieces and nephews at that. So it's just always, so important in the moment when you're speaking to somebody that has, professional standing at least. I don't have a bunch of certificates and formal things I can show you. And it is what it is. That's my fault for not taking this more seriously in high school than other things. And of course, I was thrown into culinary and nutrition, less by choice than not. But it's something that did stick with me, and it's something I did learn from. It was an experience I took. I mean, I have transcripts that put a grade, at least, to those things that show my, at least, short-lived passion then, but it's neither here nor there. Just nobody's gonna tell you to chase the dog, but just imagine being that little thing, that little confused thing with the Ford F-150 ass looking truck chasing you down the road. You would never come to that. That dog was running so fast. It was running for its life. Please understand what you're doing. When you're chasing down the dog you intend to catch. Like, it just, the math does not math. This Ford F-150 is chasing this tiny dog. I mean, a huge truck. My 2013 Toyota Corolla would turn this dog into a pizza. What would this truck do? You know what I mean? And you were flying down the road after it. I couldn't catch up. I couldn't do anything to help, and he's his own problem. And I would love to at least be able to tell him, why don't you get a treat and lure the dog instead of chasing him with a big-ass truck? But you would think this is not something you would have to say. Like, I get the dog's running. I get you might not have the feet to catch him. He's got 4 little leggies that he's actively trying to use. And you've got 2 that you probably don't use enough since he's trying to run away. I get it. But process it. Process it. Big truck, little dog. When was this ever going to work? Big truck, little dog. I mean, if your landlord came to your house looking for rent, and you had it, and you were about to argue, but they had the big-ass pit bull, or worse, they brought another human being, twice your size, with a metal bat. Are you going to argue with him? So what do you think? I mean, it's a horrible, horrible analogy. But it's the same concept. Are you going to argue with this person? You think this dog's going to stop and, hug the truck? Do you realize what happens when the dog stops in front of the truck? I'm not even judging. I'm just trying to make sense of the thought process. And then how, when I come out and say things like this, and say, why, you're kind of dumb for that. The people would feel the need to argue with me because that's why, at one point in time, we didn't just ask the calculator to do it for us. There were still people who could physically, you know what I mean? People who could physically do the math in the first place built the computers doing it for you. I mean, that's understood, right? In some cases, it's not even... Some of you have camera phones. The software does the filming for you, and you still can't figure out lighting. The video's still bad. So, I mean, this has been a rant. It's all over the place, but it's kind of hitting on that mindset where you're like, I need to be a professional in 10 minutes doing something that people do professionally after 10 years of experience. And I'm saying that on behalf of people that really do what I'm doing. Because I would not, would velour be the word? I would not look for that kind of altruism where I have to fake it and lie about it. There's a difference in vaguely know what you're doing and going after it and kind of failing and figuring out and doing better, choosing to do better after you fail. That's a big one. Choosing to not own your failure and double down in it, but actually turn shit around, be like, I failed at this, I'm gonna do something fucking different and see what happens. But when you see a certain level of ignorance, just such a high level of ignorance, to the point it becomes cruel. It becomes cruelty what these people are doing to other living, breathing creatures. And it's just always blanketed with, well, they're ignorant, they don't know better. And it's not enough anymore because it's invading other people's, way of lives now at this point. It's when the action you take, this is when I have to point the finger outward. It's not thumbs anymore, it's fingers outwards. When the action you take, like a data center just dumping like the water issue. Like, how does that not make sense to the common folk? And I'm not getting into it because it's left field, but it's the mindset. It's the mindset that we allow this to happen, that we allow the ignorance because they're ignorant. They don't know better. We need to be nice to them so they learn. It's not working. And dumb people are getting violent anyway. And it's not like I think I'm smarter than anybody else. I'm a dumb motherfucker, and I'm going to be the first to say that. But I have the foresight that, and this is it. This is my only point. This is the one singular point after what I just witnessed. I, being a stupid person, have the foresight to not chase the tiny dog that I am trying to actively catch. I want it to come to me with a big ass truck. Big ass truck. 4 or 5 times my size, right? Like, the truck's bigger than him driving it. Imagine what it looks like to the dog. It's just not processing in my brain. I want to understand how it did in yours. Person, wherever you are. If you ever saw this. And this is the people you're arguing with online. That's what it is. These are the fucking people we're arguing with online when they have these opinions that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. Just argue anything. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about in the post to begin with. To get that far in the comments. I mean, and this is all social media at this point. Because it's all the same. It's let's show off our accomplishments. Let's talk about it. And if that's not what it is, then why did we create it? Or it's to sell some. It's serving its purpose, but people choose, just like they choose to use the truck as a tool to catch a dog. There is a process here. There is something in people's brains, like in general, by numbers, where they have just stopped processing the situation, have stopped analyzing, like, the room is looking at you, you look bad, and the only person that doesn't think so is you. I have been on the receiving end of that. Do you know how I know better? This is 90% of the time I don't want you to like me. Why would a person as giving and nice as me not want you to like me? Unless it's being giving and as nice as I am has gotten me taken advantage of. And the last thing I'm going to do is sit in a video here and play the victim card. But today, the victim was that little dog, and I'm speaking up for him. And that's my voice. That's what my voice does. That's my weapon. That little dog was running for his life. I want you to understand, running for his life. And you were the reason he was running for his life. Do you think you should continue this charade? Or do you think there's a better owner fit for this dog out there somewhere? And that is what we deal with every day when we deal with you people. And more people than me are so nice about it because they want business. If I were in it for a profit, I wouldn't even dare make a video like this. But I'm here for the animals. I said that once, I'll say it twice. And I know I'll get to where I'm going doing the right thing. Let's end this rant here. Here's your organic content, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to catch a Bichon Frise, Yorkie Terrier, one of these tiny, tiny dogs. I'm going to say any dog in general, but especially these dogs you could kill stepping on in the night by accident. You just don't chase it down what is usually a busy highway around this time with your Ford F-150. And anybody that can argue this right now, I hope for your sake you figure it out at some point. Because there's a lot of us just banging our heads against walls trying to figure out why. Why you would choose to suffer your own ignorance knowing better. Because that level of stupidity is a choice. And I have to see it that way because of all the times I have been at my worst, lowest, and acting just absolutely not right, or not my self in general, there has always been enough sense about me to not hurt people like I have seen other people hurt people. And I'm at a point where I see things like that, I want to opt out. I don't want to leave the house. Every time I go to do my job, it's to fix those things. It's to educate those people. And when you want to do that and you go to do that and they're all experts and they're all going to argue with you about it. But I just watched you, man. Were you catching that dog, chasing him with an F-150? I want to hear his response. Because what I saw was a dog run through 5 backyards, including mine, with 3 pit bulls. One off a leash. In my yard. So that'd have been your fault. You don't get to have children and animals and not watch them. It's not fair to the rest of us. It's especially not fair to the children and animals. Think. Think before you do these things. Think before your actions become other people's problem. Think. Just think before you act. Think before you act. That's my message today. Think before you act. Think before you act. 20 minutes of me ranting. Think before you act. That's it. That's my only point. Think before you act. I said it a bunch of times so everybody understands. Think before you act. People won't even believe that coming from me. Think before you act. You know how much dumb shit I've done? And even in all those dumb moments, there has been a level of morality that prevents me from doing these things. And I have watched other people, everyone around me, do the absolute worst. Things I would not touch with an 80-foot pole. And that is why I keep myself in solitude. That's why I don't trust people. That's why I am the way I am. And I'm not apologizing for saying my truth, because this isn't about weaponizing therapy speak or weaponizing my truth or This is about people acted a certain way for a certain amount of time, and then I continue to see disparity like this go on around me. I see children and animals get hurt every day because of it, and then I get locked in the middle of who knows what. I don't care what people think, because the first time I have to intervene, I have to truly intervene with honesty, it's going to be nothing but that. It's going to be honesty with proof. There's going to be no redaction. And when I see things like this, I'm going to start saying it louder. Because it's stupidity. It is stupidity is what it is. And it's cruel. It's become cruel to the rest of us. And we don't appreciate it anymore. Think before you act. It's really fucking simple. Think before you speak. That's an action. Everything has to be judged in the moment as it's happening. That's reality. That is the reality. I can make assumptions based on the past. I can assume what the future is going to be based on that. But nothing's for sure. Nothing's for certain. You have no crystal ball. And what if he had just hit that dog? That's what goes through my head. Like, I saw that dog running through the street from this truck. It's just none of it added up to me. My dog's gotten out of the house and run after children, and my first thing, watch your kid. I know he's going to jump. He's friendly. He's not going to hurt anybody, but he's supposed to be on a leash. Nobody lets him out on purpose. It happens. But I have control of that dog. I spoke up. The kid was safe first. My dog continues to run. So I don't chase. I lure. Hey, you want a treat? Now, if he runs out in the street, I stop chasing, because he will run in the street. And if you keep chasing, he's going to run in front of more cars. Okay. Now, if I'm the big car, and then the wreck that could have happened, the dog dead anyway, a family of 4, like the scenarios that play through my head, the damage that could have just been done, and we go, eh. And people wonder why I don't leave the house. First of all, I don't want to get hit by a car. How's that for starters? Is that like... And I feel like that's a valid paranoia to have in this culture. There's less trees than there are fucking parking lots. Me being afraid of getting hit by a car seems very valid. And after what I just witnessed, I gotta speak up for the dog. At the very least. I don't get it anymore, but people can keep defending it and they can keep blaming everybody else and going on, but at the end of the day, a lot of us are looking at each other online, don't know each other, we judge based on asinine button clicking. Most of us are doing sitting on a fucking toilet at work. And then that's the level of genius that's fucking working as an expert out in the field. So, I mean, you know, you put two and two together eventually, right? Right?